If your technique is applied to Islam, what result would you expect to find?
Well, I teach a class at Biola. Biola's a university in California. They have a master's in apologetics program. So what I have my students do is I said, okay, here your first paper is you have to read Cold Case and give me a critical review, which is good. The second thing you have to do is you have to take the 3 of the principles, and the Cold Case gives you 10 principles of investigation that you can apply to anything. So I said, I want you to take 3 of those principles and apply them to some historic theistic worldview. It could be anything you want. It could be Jehovah's Witnesses, it could be Mormonism, it could be Islam, and a bunch of them applied it to Islam. So I have papers. I always believe you should stay in your lane. I just think it's important for us to stay. I don't have expertise. I was not a Muslim. And there's a guy named Nabil Qureshi whose book you should get, Seeking Allah, Finding Jesus. It's powerful. But he has a right to speak on that because he was a Muslim. I talk about Mormonism because I'm so familiar with my family. I have a lane to Mormonism. I understand what that is. So I can tell you why Mormonism fails. I tell people all the time, I became a Christian the very same day I became a not Mormon. Because my family was asking me to look at both systems simultaneously. No problem, I did that. I read through all of Mormon scripture, all of it, before I decided that system is false. With the same test we give this system. People have asked me, would you write that book? No. No, because my dad's still alive. And he's asked me not to write that book. Respect your family members. He says, you know, for him, this is all a useful delusion. Your thing's working for you, God bless you. Their thing's working for them. Leave them alone. Don't try to dissuade them about Mormonism. To him, it's like we're arguing about how many buttons are on Santa's suit. Who cares? It's just Santa. Right? That's how he feels about it. So I haven't written anything about that yet, but my dad is getting older, and when he passes away, I'll be writing that book.
What evidence do Jewish people as a nation come up with that makes them not believe Jesus as the Messiah?
Well, I think this is all about whether or not, first of all, do they accept the claims of Jesus and the resurrection? Of course not. But do they even accept all the prophecy that we sometimes see ourselves citing, right? All the messianic prophecy in say, Isaiah. Well, no, they're going to find a way to say that none of that actually predicts the Messiah at all. They're going to find ways, they're going to show us the places in the Old Testament prophecies that we've been citing to argue that we've misinterpreted those prophecies. We are wrong about those prophecies. So again, this is all going to come back down to the deity of Christ. So it all comes back to whether or not we can trust the resurrection is true. Because even if you knew nothing about Jewish prophecy, you knew nothing about a coming Messiah, but you had to deal with this guy who rose from the dead, that would be enough for you to kind of scratch your head and think, I got to reconsider my presuppositions against the supernatural because this guy rose from the dead. So what's that about? How did he do that? I really wasn't interested as an atheist in the entire history of Judaism up to Jesus, okay? I was interested, did that thing happen? And when I got to the place where I thought, wow, you know, the only thing that's keeping me from buying this is that I don't believe in supernatural stuff, that's when I started to look at the evidence for God's existence. It wasn't until I was convinced that the eyewitness accounts in the Gospels were reliable that I said, well, maybe I've been wrong about the whole God thing. Let me go back and look at the evidence for God's existence. And that's what I did next. But I'm going to tell you, there's stuff in the room, this is the next book I'm writing right now, there's stuff in the room of the universe you cannot explain from inside the room. Think about that for a second. The first conversation I ever had with my dad, I had with my wallet. And I pulled out my wallet. We were sitting at a water park. And I said, Dad, just walk with me for a second on this. Look, I got this wallet here. And in my wallet, I have $1. Look at the dollar. It's a pretty interesting dollar. It's got the face of George Washington on it. It's got writing on it, specificity. Tell me, Dad, I want you to tell me how the dollar got in my wallet. But I want you to stay inside the wallet for an explanation. Well, you put it in your wallet. No, I'm outside the wallet. I can't be used as an explanation. I want you to explain to me how the dollar got in the wallet, but stay inside the wallet for an explanation. That's a stupid question. Well, just be imaginative. Well, there's only a couple of answers. Well, one, it's always been in the wallet. It's been in the wallet as long as the wallet's been together. That's a stupid answer. But if that was the case, we'd all be buying wallets, right? They all have money in them. The other option is that there was stuff in the wallet that over time shaped into $1. What's this sound like to you guys? There's stuff inside the physical, natural universe that I don't think naturalism can explain. I don't think it can explain the beginning of the universe to begin with. Because even the scientists will tell us that everything that was here, space, time, and matter, that's what we consider to be the elements of naturalism. But whatever started this has to be atemporal, non-spatial, immaterial. So it has to be, if you want to call it supernatural, extra-natural, or something other than natural. Right? How are you going to explain consciousness from inside this room? How do material things eventually become an immaterial? How do you explain free will in a deterministic physical universe? How do you explain the appearance of design in biology or the origin of life? How do you explain transcendent moral principles that we believe are true? We respect them. How do we even explain the existence of evil if there is no objective standard of righteousness by which we can define evil? If it's just a matter of opinion, you can get rid of evil tomorrow. Just change your mind. Change your opinion. But we can't get rid of it that way. There's got to be something where you see, these are the problems that naturalism has. You can't explain the dollar from inside the wallet. You can only explain all the things you see in the dollar from an agent outside the wallet that would put it in. What was the question we even started with? I don't even know.
Okay, have you looked at the evidence of the line of popes? Peter was the first pope. Is the Catholic Church the one true church?
Yeah, some people will say, well, look, if you're trusting that these eyewitnesses that you used in your chain of custody, if you're going to trust that those people are, I'm not trusting them for their theology. I'm not trusting them for their political views. I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less about any witness's theology or political views. I'll use them all in trial. I simply care, did you see that? And what did you see? You can have we could disagree about all kinds of social issues. We can disagree about all kinds of theological issues. The only question is, what did you see? So when I'm looking at those line of church fathers, I am not judging them based on their theology, because some of their theologies are pretty crummy. In other words, they're accepting this text, and from the text, they're inferring a theological position. I don't want their theological position. I want to know, what was the text you were looking at? Because all of us look at the same text right now, right? And we're divided into how many different theological stripes? Right? But we're looking at the same text, and then we're inferring different positions from the same text. So for me, I think we're at liberty to use church fathers, even though you don't have to agree with what they believed about baptism, what they believed about the sacraments. Who cares? I don't care about any of that. I want to know, what did John tell you? That's all I want to know. I'm not sure that's why he's asking that question, but that's my view on it.
Regarding your 4 motives, you talked about
3 motives. There are only 3. Somebody tried to give me a 4th one. Says, you're wrong about this. I've thought about it for 10 seconds, and there's a 4th motive, and it is accident. I was it said that was actually a good point. It was a good point. And but see, accident's not criminal motive. I can't try you for an accident. So I'm talking about criminal motive, those things you would do that are criminal, right? Well, how about just crazy? Well, if you're crazy, I can't try you either. I'm talking about criminal motive. Make sense? So those are different categories. People will say that all the time.
And I got the number wrong because that was the insanity question.
Got it.